Hey, okay, welcome. So, I am so fucking excited. Seriously, I'm so freaking excited. This is the third video in this, how I went from being on food stamps and almost homeless to making 5 figures in less than a year. And I just got a message at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I received a personal message from a gal who did one of my free workbooks, and she thought she was pregnant. And she's been trying for like over a year to get pregnant. And 4.5 hours later, she sent me a personal message, another private message, that she was in fact pregnant. She'd just done the test. She was totally pregnant. She was so excited. And then this morning, she sent me another message again that she did a second test, just because it's exciting. And it like turned positive almost right away. And she did one of my workbooks, but the exact exercise that I put in the workbook that she did is what was in the first video on this video series. So I'm telling you, this stuff works so much. So if you haven't done these exercises, like, do them. Yes, I love that you're watching. I love that you're here with me. I see someone just popped on here. Feel free to say hi, shoot a heart, because I fucking love. And yeah, let me know, like, hi, say hi, replay viewers. Also, I'm super stoked that you're here, and everyone that's going to be watching this on YouTube or on my email list. I like literally, this girl just got pregnant from doing the exact exercise that was in the first video on this video series. Like that, yeah, like I had the outline and workbook, but it's the same fucking exercise, and she got pregnant. I mean, I've gotten people pregnant that I've worked with one-on-one before, and that I've done my group programs, and my do-it-yourself courses, but like this was just like free content, so that's fucking amazing. So I'm so fucking stoked because like this works so well. So yeah, I'm super excited right now because that's just freaking amazing. Like, I love that I get to be in this position to help people out in this incredible way. So however you and I ever work together, maybe it's just from from you watching these videos, like that's us working together. Maybe it's a program, or whatever, if we ever work together one-on-one or in a closer way. Regardless, however you and I come into contact, I so want you to get the results that you want. I want you to manifest like the life and the dreams that you might not even let yourself dream about. So however that happens. And this gal was just a follower of mine, and she got these results, and that's so fucking incredible. Like, I'm so honored that like I get to hold this space and play this role in people's lives. So I just want to share that with you because holy crap, that's so exciting. It's so exciting. I want to make sure, I think this is kind of funky right here. So anyways, what I talked about in my last video was all about like your divine feminine and why it's so important to tap into that and really awaken your divine feminine. So your divine feminine like rests within your womb, and we as women, we all have this incredible innate like divine potential within us, and she just lies right within us. Like, we can tap into her and unleash her, and literally our womb is the center of creation in our body. So it's not just for getting pregnant. Like this person I was just talking about, yeah, she got pregnant, and that was for a long time. That's just what I focused on, was helping getting people pregnant. But what I saw was with every single one of my clients was this underlying issue of their divine feminine like really being suppressed and not being tapped into at all. And so as we started working on that, what I saw in these clients and in my own life as well, like this this is the stuff that I did to literally go from being on food stamps and being almost homeless to making 5 figures and to getting, like, preparing to move to Kauai in just a few months. Like, this is the stuff that I did. And then as I see results, I mean, I'm always my own experiment, I guess you could say. And then, you know, when I start to see results, like, and I'm really passionate about something, I share it. So that's what I'm doing right now, right? And as I started, like, working on doing this work within my clients too, like, they would plateau, and then when we would start working on their divine feminine and healing their womb, they would get their period back right away when they haven't had their period in a year. They would get pregnant. Like, one client got pregnant in 4 days. This other person just got pregnant in a couple of weeks. They would, like, manifest their dream homes, their dream jobs. You know, a recent client, before we started working together, she had so much anxiety that she wasn't able to pass her board exams. And just from going through one of my group programs, she emailed me and she was like, oh, like, yeah, my hair feels amazing, my skin is glowing, like, my body feels amazing. I also passed my board exams, I got my dream job, I just put an offer in on my dream house. Like, that happened within a span of 8 weeks. And then another one of my one-on-one clients recently, like, as soon as we started tapping into this work, she manifested a house at an affordable rate on the beach in Southern California. Like, how does that even exist? It doesn't. But it did for her because she manifested it. She made it happen. And she also just had her biggest month in business last month. So, like, this works, right? Like, it is not just for me. It works for everybody that does this work. So I'm, like, obviously you can tell I'm super passionate about it. I have a lot of energy. And because, like, this is just, like, we need to do this. Like, we need to step into our divine potential, right? And by not doing that, we're actually, like, being selfish, because when we are in our divine potential and creating a life that we are so fucking passionate about, and we are so happy and so overjoyed and just fulfilled, we impact every single person around us. And when we do that, it makes them happier, and that in turn makes the people that they come into contact with happier, and, like, this massive ripple effect makes the world so much better. So by you, like, not tapping into this and, like, literally stepping into your divine potential, you're holding back this ripple effect, and you're creating a block, and you're actually creating your own block from creating the life that you want. So for me, like, I had dreamed in the back of my head of moving to Kauai since I was 15. I've never even been to Kauai. I'll be there in 2 months finding my house, but I've never even been to Kauai. It's just called my soul for 20 years. I never verbalized it until February, and it's September now. So how many months is that? That's like 7 months, 6 months. I never even verbalized it until that. I'm like, I didn't even know how it was going to happen, but I was just like, oh my God, like, I want to move to Kauai. I was trying to visualize my future and where I was going to be. And I was like, well, maybe I'll go to San Diego or, like, Huntington Beach or whatever. Like, I don't know. And it was just really gray and cloudy, like, my vision, right? And I was like, I just don't know. And then I was like, well, maybe, what about Kauai? And my whole vision just got, like, super vibrant, and it's kind of like the end scene of Alice in Wonderland, like that 3D movie. I don't know, I never see movies, but I did see that. And I remember at the very end, like, all these, like, flowers came up over the screen. That's how my vision was, right? Like, all these bright, vibrant hibiscus flowers just, like, came, and, like, my vision was just so crystal clear. And I was like, oh my God, that is completely, like, that's what I have to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I set that intention, and I was like, that was my clarity. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I remembered how I dreamed about that. But then as soon as I would start dreaming about it, I would, like, suppress it, because I was like, how the hell am I going to do that? There's no way I'm going to do that. And I would immediately talk myself out and suppress my dreams right there. So what happened was, when I started seeing my dream, like, how clear that made my vision, I didn't suppress it. I held the vision. And that's what you have to do. And when you do that, and then you start tapping into your divine feminine, everything's going to happen for you. So, and, like, now You know, I know, like, if you've been following me for a little bit, you'll know I'm literally just waiting for the blood test to come back from the vet to show that my dogs are rabies free so that they don't have to be in quarantine. So we're moving in January. The test takes like 120 days. They just had it a couple of weeks ago, their final test, which cost $1,000. Again, when it was in February, I had no money to speak of. I had my first $5,000 month in May. In July, I tripled that. So this, like, I didn't see how it was gonna happen, but I just knew. I held the vision, and I let the universe, I let my divine feminine, my center of creation, create it, right? I held the vision, I held the faith, and I continued nurturing and tapping into my divine feminine and doing exercises and doing the work to continue to let her flourish, right? So if you think about, like, if you visualize yourself, if you are wanting more in your life, then it's like you're like a tight rosebud, right? That's just like waiting to burst open. But as soon as you start to like really nurture that rosebud, like that rosebud can do one of two things, right? It can like whittle away and die, or it can blossom and bloom and spread its beauty all over the place. And it's fragrance. I love fragrant roses. It sucks that so many of them are like so genetically modified that they don't smell the rose much anymore. But we had a massive rose garden when I was growing up all around the house, so I love it. My mom's British, so we had to have a British rose garden. So, you know, like right now, if you're wanting more, you are like this tight rosebud. And so you can either nurture what's going to help that rosebud blossom and help you blossom and like shine your light and your beauty and your fragrance and your essence and your soul, or you can not nurture it and stay tightly wound up as a rosebud until eventually like your dreams are just gonna die, because that's what happens when you suppress them so much and you don't listen and you don't nurture, right? So I don't want your dreams to die. I want you to flourish and to blossom and to bloom, because when you do that, like when you're walking down the street and you smell a fragrant flower and its beauty is just so captivating, what do? You stop and you go, oh my God, look at that rose, look at that flower, like, oh, it smells so good. That's what people are gonna do to you. So I want that to happen. And when that happens, like, you're giving this energy as this incredible flower, people are giving you this energy back. It's like this amazing exchange, and everyone around you is feeling better and you're feeling better, and it's just fucking amazing. So let's make that happen for you, right? So how do you nurture and tap into your divine feminine? So first of all, I'm standing up here and like, regardless, I don't think I have enough room, but like, yeah, I'm just trying to stand on my tippy toes. Like, you're in your womb, right? Like your womb right here. So go ahead and place your hand like right on top of your pubic bone. If you place your hand on top of your pubic bone and then just like rest your hand down. That's your womb. That's your center of creation. That's where your divine feminine, that's where your inner goddess rests. So just put your hand right there. It's okay to touch yourself. Put your hand right there, right? And just breathe into it. Breathe into your womb. Connect with her and just feel how that feels for a minute, right? You might feel your abdominal muscles relax. If you're really like concerned about your body and your abs, and you want your, you know, you're really concerned about like having a perfect beach body and, you know, expressing those abs, and you're constantly contracting your core, that actually like contracts. And so when you contract, you're constricting, right? So you're pressing against blood vessels. And blood vessels on a physical level, like that's where your nutrients and your energy go. And that's where like life, when you have the nutrients and the blood flow and the oxygen that the blood delivers, that's where you get life, right? To that area. So if you're constantly constricting your abs and your core, you're constricting the blood flow and the life force on a physical level that comes to that area. So by placing your hand here and taking deep breaths, you're gonna feel your abs start to relax, and that's gonna allow more blood flow. Well, so that's not to say you should never have, you know, tight abs. Like, yeah, like we, you know, but it's a certain time, and a lot of us get, this is like kind of sideways and whatever, I'm not gonna mess with it. And when you are constantly contracting, that's gonna create imbalance, right? And that's gonna constrict that blood flow. So yes, we need our core muscles to be engaged, but not 100% of the time, right? So, like, think about if you had your biceps constantly engaged, right? Like, that's gonna like get really weak and tired, or not weak, they're gonna get so exhausted and tired. And then, like, after a while, like, your biceps aren't gonna function for you because they're so overly tired and exhausted, right? Think about that with your womb and your center of creation. That's a fucking solid point right there. So, I've never used that bicep analogy, like that just came to me and that was really good. So, what I want you to do is like literally physically connect with yourself. Breathe into that. Allow yourself to stop and relax too, because like as I was talking about in the last video about the qualities of masculine versus feminine, masculine qualities are all about go, 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 push, 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 right? But the feminine qualities, like feminine, being feminine is to be more relaxed, more compassionate, more nurturing. And so if you are constantly on the go and you're constantly pushing, you're constantly trying to like force things to happen, you're in that masculine state, and you need to be relaxed. So allow yourself time to relax. If you have a hard time meditating, you know, don't worry about meditating, just sit. Just breathe into your womb. Literally put your hands on your womb, put your fingertips on top of your pubic bone and rest your hand on your belly and breathe into that. Some other things that I want you to think about too, this is all on a very much physical level, and this is really important because so your womb is your center of creation. Your womb is also your center of emotions. And when we talk about manifesting in the law of attraction, energy is what drives, right? So your thoughts create your reality, but your emotions are what drive your thoughts. So if you have stuck emotions, right, those are going to be driving your thoughts. So no matter how much you want something, this is why affirmations don't work for a lot of people, because you don't have the right energy behind it. And an emotion is energy in motion. So if you don't have the right energy to drive your thoughts, you're not going to be able to manifest reality. So if you have a lot of stuck energy and stuck emotions, you need to release those so that you can get the right flow going on, because otherwise you're just going to be continuing to manifest whatever you've been manifesting. And if you are watching this and you want more to happen, maybe you're not making the money that you want, you just can't seem to get a break, you're everything's happening to you, which, by the way, you're in a victim mindset if you are in that mindset, and most people are functioning in that mindset. You need to release these emotions and get your energy flowing. So how do we do that? How do we get movement in our energy? The key word there is movement. So let's literally move our womb and get some energy going and awaken that divine feminine, that creative center that lies within you. Let's get some movement in there and start to like really shake things up. So how do we do that? What I want you to do is I want you to intentionally set aside time. Oh my God, thank you so much for the hearts. I love you so much. Oh, yay. I love that so much. I'm getting so many hearts. That's amazing. Thank you. So what I want you to do is literally create energy and motion. And so what I'm going to have you do, there's still so many hearts coming. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. The tripod like makes it hard to see, but I want you to intentionally move just the area of your womb and your pelvic bowl, right? So I'll tilt this down a little bit. I'm in my room and it's a mess because I have a toddler who likes to like unpack and move everything around. So here, I'll see if you can see me. So I've got my hand on my womb and I'm literally just going to like focus on just moving this area. I'm wearing like black. So like literally get motion in there. One of the things I like to do is I'll do some like belly dancing techniques, right? And just create this motion. And I'm not doing a very good job right now because I'm trying to talk, but if you can isolate the rest of your body and really have just your focus here, that's gonna get energy in there. And you wanna like really, this tripod's loosening up. If you wanna like really add some bonus points to that, do that naked, standing in front of the mirror. Because as you watch, you really start to admire your body and you see your muscles contract and relax and how gorgeous you are. That creates this love and this self-love and nurtures this self-love that everybody needs more of. And when you love yourself, you really are nurturing your divine feminine. So that's just, I do that like in the morning when I brush my teeth, and after I brush my teeth, I just sit there in the mirror and I do my little belly dancing and intentionally move this energy within my womb. And when you're also even just placing your hands there over your womb and taking deep breaths, you are also moving energy in there. So be very intentional about it, right? If you go to the gym and if you work out, or even like if you go running, right? That's very much whole body movement, and it also doesn't even really allow for too much. I mean, there is some movement within your pelvic bowl and your abdomen, but you're also contracting your core. You're trying to, do a lot of stuff, so it's not very isolated. So I want you to be very intentional about really moving this energy that lies within your womb and your divine feminine. That's what's going to start to really shift things for you. So yes, do that. Allow for some movement, even 5 minutes a day. Like, you have 5 minutes a day to do that. If you're sitting in traffic and you're starting to get stressed out, stress is masculine energy. So put your hand on your womb and take some deep breaths. You're gonna notice a lot of stress go away right there. So that's something you can do just about anywhere, right? Unfortunately, it's faux pas for like women to touch themselves in public, but like men can scratch their balls. I don't know, whatever, it's ridiculous. But yeah, like screw what being faux pas and legit is, right? Just like put your hands right there. Put your hand on top of your pubic bone. Put your hand right over your crotch. Like whatever you want. Do that. Connect to yourself and to that area, and you really have to like stop being uncomfortable with that. And the more you practice, like even just touching yourself, I'm not even talking about touching yourself in a sexual way. Absolutely go take care of yourself and like get some orgasm, like really please yourself. That's fucking amazing for awakening this creative energy. But just touch yourself in a sincere and gentle way. And if you've had a lot of experience, if you've had a lot of shame around sexuality or femininity, if you've had trauma and if you've had abuse, this is going to be really important for recovery from that. Because I know when I was recovering from, still going through a lot of the emotional process from rape, I had a hard time even washing myself in the shower. It would make, any suggestions on swaying sex? What do you mean by swaying sex? Sometimes I feel old because I'm like not always on fleek with all the terminology. I don't even know if I used on fleek correctly right there. So yeah, what do you mean by swaying sex, Victoria? And baby, I'm not understanding fully your question. So yeah, can you clarify that question for me? I don't think I'm fully getting it. Oh, of gender. You know, there are some people that say they can. I mean, I visualization really and intention there. I don't know. I knew my son was going to be a son the moment I found out I was pregnant. But I've always known and visualized myself having a son too. So I would think just like visualization and knowing within your heart of hearts. Yeah. So there are some people that, you know, think that you can like intentionally not even manifest, just like sway the sex of your baby. But I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how much I believe in that. I do believe in manifesting and creating from what you visualize and create within your heart. So that would be like my best advice right there too, right? Like set your intention, and you might even want to journal on like, why is it, like I know you have a son, so maybe you want another boy or maybe you want a girl. Why is it, and what does having a boy mean to you? What does having another boy mean to you? What does having a girl mean to you? And get to the root of what excuse me, why you want that and what that will mean for you, because that will just get you to the root of the emotions behind that and how you are able to manifest and why you want to manifest that, right? So that's what I would do. That's what I do for everything I manifest. So yeah, you're welcome. I hope that's helpful. Okay, so where was I right there? So yeah, so getting that energy, getting that emotion, and when you start to do this, like you might start to feel really emotional. You might have crazy emotional swings. That's because you're releasing all the emotions that are coming up for you, right? Like you've had stuff stored in there your whole entire life. So I know that's not exactly what I was talking about, but I got distracted from that question. So I know this is really important to say anyways. So if you think about a cup that's got a bunch of, like, if you put dirt in a cup of water, right? Eventually that dirt's gonna settle to the bottom, right? So when you start to like shake it up and even add in more like crystal pure clean water, all that sediment from the bottom is gonna get stirred up and it's gonna get kind of mucky for a while, right? It's gonna get dirty. But then eventually it's gonna spill over the glass and you'll have a nice cup of fresh, clean water, right? It's not gonna have all that dirt in there. So that's exactly what's happening as you start to stir things up, right? So you might feel really emotional, but it's really important because you need to release those emotions that have been stored. That doesn't mean you have to relive any trauma. It just means that you have to release the emotions that have been associated with whatever trauma or whatever experience that has happened in your life. And some things you might not even remember. Oftentimes, they're things you don't even remember. So, like the other day, I had a huge breakthrough. This work never stops, by the way. It never stops. The other day, I had a huge breakthrough because I have my older brother. Kind of was a total bully to me growing up, and we've had a very strained relationship for the last couple of years, and he won't admit stuff, and that's okay. Like, what happened to him when he was a young child was that he was bullied by adults, and he was my older brother, and he learned that to be a protective force, he needed to bully. And that was his way of showing me love. He didn't know that. He doesn't consciously know that. And for me, like, he used to tell me that I was fake and that I wasn't real. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I'm like 10. But that has been one of, like, that's the stem of a lot of the limiting beliefs that I have, right? And like even being visible and coming out here and being here for you guys, right? And like being my true self and sharing my story, right? Like that was for a long time, like I was scared to say my story and to like really let myself shine and bloom, because you know, I had this created all these stories around my brother telling me that I was fake and bullying me growing up. So that was a huge breakthrough for me the other day. And as I was able to do that, I really felt into the emotions that I felt, but I also was able to find compassion for him, because he was bullied by adults, not my parents, but by his football coach and by parents of good friends of ours growing up, which was so incredibly sad. And I was able to find such a space of compassion for this person that you know, I idolized, but was also a bully to me growing up. And I was also able to release a lot of the protective shell that I had created around myself and my inner child. And I was able to see my inner child really bloom, more so than I've ever been able to see her bloom. I've been doing a lot of this work on myself for a long time. So this work never stops. You always find deeper levels and deeper layers. But it's so important, and as you continue working on it, like, you'll get better and better at finding and going down the rabbit hole and finding this stuff, right? But as I was able to do that, I was really able to just release so much and feel the warmth emanating from within me. And this is just like this healing energy. So I shared that. I wasn't intending on sharing that, but there you go. I share that because I want you to, you know, just know that if you start to feel emotional and you start to feel like a crazy person, you're not crazy. You're releasing this stuff, right? It's a part of the healing process. It's a part of up-leveling and getting to where you want to go. Because when you are manifesting, and when you really do this work, you start to manifest at a really rapid rate, a very quick rate. When this happens, like, the universe is going to stretch you. Your guides, your inner goddess, they're going to stretch you, right? And it's part of healing. It's a part of tapping into this like divine source, because you have to heal the stuff that's been holding you back. And it's all stuff that, you know, you've created subconsciously and have held within your womb, and that's really suppressed your innate potential and your divine feminine. So just be mindful of that. I do want to share something. So I'm writing a book, and I do a lot of like, I like to like go back and like research words and find synonyms for words, and I talk about this innate potential. And what innate potential is innate is this intrinsic, right? It's this intuitive, this deep rooted intuitive feeling or knowing that we have within us. And our innate potential resides within our womb, if you think about that, right? Like, that's our center of creation, where we can create babies, where our divine feminine rests, where our center of creation resides, right? So we have this potential within us. And potential, if you follow the synonyms for potential, is a synonym for potential is if you follow it back, is dormant, and then another synonym for dormant is spiritless. Spiritless. So if you're suppressing all of this in your womb, and these emotions and this energy and this innate potential, if you're suppressing it and holding it in, you are literally creating a spiritless environment. So think about that in terms of fertility. Like, that's speaks everything right there. And even in our life too, right? Because if we're not living a life that we're passionate about, if we're not living a life that we are so completely like fulfilled and joyful and happy and radiating this passion, what are we living? We're living a spiritless life, right? So as you tap into this divine feminine and you awaken and unleash this innate potential within you, you have a spirit-filled life, and that's so fucking incredible. So I want to share that with you. And yeah, so you have a choice, right? You can live a spirit-less life, or you can live a spirit-filled life. And I really want you to have a spirit-filled life and live a life of passion and live a life of rapidly manifesting your deepest desires. And I want you to be happy and peaceful and full of joy and radiating passion. So do this work, do this work, do this work, because it fucking works. Like I said earlier, and you'll see me posting all about, because I'm so fucking stoked for this girl. She got pregnant after doing the steps in the first video on this video series. Same exact steps that's outlined in the workbook that she did, that I put in the first video in this video series. So, and she got pregnant from that. And she started following me just a few weeks ago. This stuff happens fast, quickly, rapidly. As soon as you start tapping into it, you're gonna start to notice shifts. So embrace your divine feminine, heal your womb, and unleash the power of creation that resides within you. That's what I got for you today. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.